Today, 10/29/2025, the market, right? If we just look at the price action right here, pretty bad. I think we've got some more news tomorrow. I think we might have some more news tomorrow. Let me see real quick. If we do tomorrow, the 30th, we have just yellow folder news. Yeah, no red folder tomorrow, so nothing to truly be concerned about. But if we're just looking at this market, I'm going to break down pretty much what this whole week has been giving us so far. Friday, why it's been so difficult to trade. We're going to be talking about kind of sometimes you might see me alter my rules slightly, and we're going to talk kind of about that. Like, Will, why are you altering the rules slightly? Will, why are you making a decision to do that? Going to kind of talk a little bit more in depth with key levels as well. So again, this is going to be recorded, and we have a lot of stuff to break down. So if you want to grab a notebook or anything like that, go for it. And again, this is being recorded, so you guys can always watch this back in the past. So let's kind of go to a 30-minute or 15-minute time frame here, and let's just look at today first. Let's just kind of look at what the overall deal of today is. Now, if we're just looking at the price action in general, if I just see it right now in real time, how does it look? Pretty crappy, pretty shitty, right? And obviously wasn't expecting clear price action, but I really think why we've been having some very weird PA these last couple of days was because the market is still trying to figure out interest rates, still trying to figure out what the Powell is going to be doing, trying to figure out, hey, should we continue pushing higher, or are we going to get a retracement? I think we're going to get a retracement pretty soon. I do think tomorrow is going to be a red day. We'll see. I really hope it won't be, but I do think we're going to have a red day tomorrow in the market. We'll see, though. I'm not going to toot my horn, and hopefully we do, but we'll see. Now, looking at the overall market here, we can see that we can clearly been trading above the VWAP right here. Then we finally broke below it, kind of consolidated right below the VWAP. Then we took a leg down, tried to retest the VWAP, took kind of a leg down, tried to retest VWAP, took a leg down. Then FOMC 1:30 in the afternoon, boom, straight to the floor. And then we can see, obviously, it recovered very aggressively. Now, we're going to talk about the trades that we took today. Okay, we're going to talk about the moves that we took today. We're going to talk about all that good stuff, all right? Now, these last 4 days, 5 days, we've been getting a lot of consolidation off of market open. And this is the thing. Trading, sometimes, guys, we're not going to get good PA every single day. It's never going to happen. If we got good price action daily, I mean, I hope it was the case, but it's not, right? I told you guys in the past, I used to have a month of bad PA one time, a week of bad PA, 4 days of bad PA. No, again, I told you guys one of the biggest traders out there, TGR, is down over $500,000 this month. Now, it's an insane number. I know the man trades on crazy leverage and crazy bread, but it shows you that no matter how experienced you are, no matter how much capital you might have and how much you might know how to navigate this market, if your edge doesn't work or if the market doesn't give you opportunity, you are going to lose. Now, that's why I preach to you guys so aggressively and all the time. Risk management is the most important thing in trading, and especially with prop firms, because a lot of people are getting confused, and I think are seeing prop firms a different way than they should be. Okay, prop firms is not supposed to be a get-rich-quick thing, right? Prop firms is not supposed to be a shortcut to spend only $100 and get a $10,000 payout, or you're trying to get past in 3 days and get a $1,000 payout off your $100 investment. If you guys are thinking that way, which I'm not saying none of you guys are, but a lot of people are construing what prop firms are supposed to be. Prop firms are a tool for a profitable trader to not use their own capital and use somebody else's leverage. Okay. Now, prop firms have to obviously make sure that that trader is there so that they know how to trade. And that is why, number one, prop firms give you crazy leverage but terrible drawdown. Because they want to say, hey, can this person be consistent for a handful of weeks, a handful of months to build up that drawdown? And then they could be like, okay, this guy has built a 15, 20, 30K buffer in 3 months. You know what? He now can use the leverage to now have a 30K drawdown buffer. That's what prop firms are for. Okay. And as well, they're for people that don't have $5, $10, $15, $20, $30,000 to trade with. Okay. So if anybody in here is trying to get a payout in a week, in 2 weeks, or even in 3 weeks, or even a month, we got to roll back the carpet. We got to change some things up. Okay. Now, going into today, again, you guys know my strategy. What do I look for? I identify trend, identify key levels. I can say, well, Will, what made you go short right here? What made you decide to go short in this area? Okay. And I'll tell you why. I told you guys here, hey, remember this morning I said, and if you guys have any questions or comments while we're going over everything and while we're talking about everything, feel free to let me know. I can go back, I can repeat myself, and all that good stuff, okay? So we can see that when I said on this morning, I said, hey guys, there's an imbalance to the upside. So when I started entering my position here, right, I started scaling into my position. And the thing about trading, guys, is we're never going to know 100% sure the perfect entry. We might have the right bias, we might have the right idea, but our exact entry can still be off. Just like this morning's trade, I was in drawdown for 6, 7, 8 minutes until the market finally decided to go in my direction, and I smacked a banger. Now, a lot of you guys this morning aren't able to hold the position as much as I am for one reason, and that is because you guys are over leveraging. If you guys go in with the intention of controlling your risk and say, hey, I only have $200 or $2,000, excuse me. Well, the majority of you guys have $2,000 of drawdown. I can't risk $600 on this trade. I can risk $200 on this trade. And if I can risk $200 on this trade, how many contracts can I go into? Or hey, I can risk $300 on this trade. How many contracts to go into? So every time before you guys go into a trade from now on, make sure you guys ask yourself, how much can I lose on this specific trade? Have that number. If you have that number in mind, that's where you guys decide to go in with the right amount of contracts, okay? Now, everybody in here real quick, let's ask some questions to you guys. How many of us in here feel like their leveraging is a B+, A+ every single day? That you guys go into the right position sizing and you're not like, oh shit, I over leveraged. Or oh shit, this is way too extended. Okay? Everybody here, what do you think? What do you guys think? Okay, because if you guys are over leveraging, it's going to kill you. Now, there's a thing called over leveraging. I tell you guys this all the time. If you guys go with like one micro, and you're like, yeah, well, I made 20 bucks. Well, you're never going to get anywhere with that. So I think there is a sweet spot too. I tell you guys a sweet spot. I say 3 to 6 MNQs until you guys start building that buffer. Okay, so B+, negative F. I know, bro, it's okay. Thanks for that honesty, right? Don't have, I get it. Now, B, you said B plus A. Okay, good. So most of us in here, the negative F, bro, I don't know what your leverage is. But again, depending upon your drawdown, ask yourself how much you want to lose per trade. So let's kind of talk about the trade that I did bang about $7,000 on, and then I'll talk about the trades we took earlier together that we took losses on, okay? So we can see that we started consolidating. When we had this leg up and then this leg down, and I even called it, guys. I'm like, hey, if we're going to sweep pre-market highs, which pre-market highs were right here, here's pre-market highs. Whoops, excuse me. Let me get this line here. Here is pre-market highs, okay? And this was a perfect liquidity sweep, okay? We broke above pre-market highs. And I can go to the 1 minute so you guys can see this, right? And now a lot of people can get confused saying, hey, if we push up, pull back, right, and then come back up again, okay, we can take longs here. Now, that would kind of make sense because we get that retracement and see if we get more momentum, right? And this wouldn't specifically be a bad trade either. Let's say if we try to enter here, right, long. Well, if we were all the way up here, since this is all-time highs and we don't know how much room we got, in this case scenario, we could probably put a stop loss at break even. So we shouldn't have lost on that trade. Okay. How do I do a micro on TPT and trade if I only get whole numbers? I tried to decimal it. No, there's no decimal points. There's still whole numbers, man. But it's going to be trading a micro. When you're trading a micro, it's called M and Q. Okay, it's called them. It's exactly. This is called the E mini, and the other one's called a Yeah. So you trade M and Q. Yeah, exactly. Do not trade NQ. If you trade NQ, that's the full leveraged contract. You have to trade M and Q. That's the baby micro. Okay, it's a smaller version of it. All right, gotcha. Yeah, that's fine. I didn't even know. And some, see how everybody's different. Obviously that's a very, very easy question, but that's completely okay because again, You're new, you're still learning. So please don't be scared to ask a stupid, easy question. That's, again, why you guys are here, all right? On MNQ to copy trade, they even say even numbers. Yeah, exactly, they do. Exactly. So let me kind of talk to you guys about my thought process here. So we started consolidating, right? And we actually took the trade long right here. Remember that. We took this long trade right here. This is beautiful, right? We actually hit. This was a trade we hit. We actually took our trade earlier. I believe we took the trade short somewhere in here. I think because, yeah. So we took a short. First trade we took was a short somewhere in this crap consolidation, right? And I was down about $600-700, right? And then once we got out of this consolidation, right, and this was a key level here. If I zoom back out again, right, here's pre-market highs. Here is a key level right here. Let me delete this level. And then here's another key level. Okay. Since we actually got into this and smacked down and fell right back down and held above this support level, that was the reason why I took a long right here. Because we got out of the consolidation. We smacked into a key level, right? And a key level, sometimes the algorithm is going to tell you what the key levels are, and sometimes they're not. I told you guys this morning, I'll kind of talk about how I know what key levels to read. And I read them by waiting for a price action, waiting for the candle to react off that level, and then make my decision. So if I know there's a key level here at, let me just make this purple so it kind of pops out to you guys. If I know there's a key level here at 26,296, if it's algo or just my basic knowledge, and I wait for the candle to say, hey, it's getting rejected here and coming back down, I'm like, sweet. Okay, this now I want to see happen. And if it gets rejected, that doesn't mean we say, oh, got rejected, let's go short. Absolutely not, because of two things. We're trading above the VWAP. We're in an uptrend, right? We're forming that higher low. So there's multiple signs of this becoming an uptrend. So in this case scenario, I want to take the break because I got this confirmation on this candle that we got that retracement and that continuation. And that's what we took this trade right here, right? And we smacked on that trade. And where was my take profit? My take profit was slightly above the all-time highs. And I'm going to tell you guys why my take profit was slightly above all-time highs or pre-market highs. Okay, so my entry was 26,296 and my TP was 26,313. Okay, and that's what actually got me back to pretty much break even. Right, I was down about $700, and then I was only down about $220 on the second trade. Now, I want to talk to you guys as well as pause on this. I want to talk to you guys as well as about, you saw on this trade here, I went in 3 NQ contracts. Now, I lost on the trade because of what? And you guys might see this every time you live trade with me. Every time I lose on a trade, it's because we're in consolidation. I don't know if you guys realize that. Almost, I would say 8 to 9 times out of 10, my trades are losses when we get into consolidation or get into no direction. Because what is the basis of majority of strategies? Playing the continuation and playing the trend, right? So if we're playing the continuation, playing the trend, then we should all probably get screwed in crap price action. We're probably going to get stopped out in sideways price action. But then when the market picks a direction, that's where the money comes in. So we have to somehow survive this type of chop and this type of chop. If we can survive this chop in the consolidation, then when the market moves, that's where our bread comes. Okay, so let's kind of go back to the trade I was talking about sooner. So why was my take profit specifically right here, and why was my entry right here? My entry right here was, I just told you guys, we have a key level. It reacted off of that key level, formed that higher low, broke that higher low, limit order exactly on that level. Sometimes, depending upon, again, I'll show you guys other examples, but my limit order was exactly on this line because the game plan for this specific trade, again, the game plan is going to change every single time depending upon the trade, right? Is what I missed. Sorry, I was busy. What do you mean if I start? No, you're good. We're just reviewing the trades. Right now we're just reviewing the trades and how we made money this morning. Then we'll go into other stuff. Okay. So the reason why I took the breakout right here was because of that reaction and then that continuation. Okay, and then that break. Now my TP was here because usually at pre-market highs and all-time highs, there's a potential, not all the time, a potential for liquidity sweep. So why am I going to try to go for a take profit super high if I know this could potentially be a liquidity sweep? Now, I don't want to get my take profit exactly at pre-market highs because I'm going to be I want to get as much profit I can in the safest amount I can get it. Meaning, if we're going to liquidity sweep this high, we're probably going to push slightly above all-time highs, pre-market highs. So that's where my limit order was slightly above pre-market highs, and that's why my take profit was right there, okay? Before I continue on the trades, everybody make a sense? Everybody understand the first trade that we took, that took a loss? Why? We had clear understanding. We took the short because this made sense. We got this right here, guys. By the way, this is, I'm going to color code this right here to purple as well. This right here is a key level as well. Okay, the algo even said it. This was a key level. Let's kind of go back to the losing trade. So when I saw the market push up, liquidity sweep this level, right, and then come back down, this was the reason why I wanted to go short in this area, okay? In this area right here. This is why I wanted to go short in this area because of this. Now, you guys are like, well, Will, you're taking trades short above the VWAP. Isn't that breaking your rule? Okay. And this comes down to the point of saying, hey, yes, we have hard rules, right? Overall bias of the market when we're trading above the VWAP is bullish. Overall bias of the market trading below the VWAP is bearish, right? But sometimes, right, if we're super overextending the market, like we are right now, okay, we can try, based upon other factors of the market, go for shorts or even go for longs when we're trading above or below the VWAP, okay? Based upon liquidity sweeps, based upon trend, and based upon volume. And that's why lately you guys have been seeing me the last 4 days, 5 days, taking shorts above the VWAP. Because I know we're overextended. But I'm not just taking a short because I'm like, oh, we're hitting all-time highs, we just have to sell off, cross fingers. No, I'm taking it based off of key levels and then trying to get my take profits on those entries. Now, the short that we actually lost money on, right? Or the first rate trade, my half, I wanted to sell a quarter of my position, right, at the VWAP. And I even told you guys, hey, we're coming into VWAP. Let's see if we can pass it. But look what happened. We shot all the way down to VWAP and then immediately got back up, right? So I said, hey, you know what? I missed it because it happened so quickly. Sometimes I missed it. I didn't have any take profits actually set, right? And immediately got back up. And then my second take profit was right here, right? Then buyers came back up. And then my entry was right here. And then we got stopped out of the trade. But what happened on the losing trade? We got stopped out because of consolidation. But technically got stopped out all the way up here, right? And I'll make this red, okay? So my entry was right here. My entry was right here, excuse me. My exit was right here. Now you're going to be like, well, Will, you keep saying, hey, hard stops, soft stops, and all this stuff, right? I will never get out of a trade just because a candlestick hits a level I'm looking to get out of. Why? Because in this case scenario, right, when we actually got stopped, when it came here, we actually were back to profit. And then we hit here, then we were back to profit. And then we even hit here, and we were back to profit, right? That trade this morning that we took the first L on, how many times did I get back to profit? Like 6 times, right? So again, we overall in this trade, yes, we did lose, but I don't know if you guys got stopped out like 4 times and had to re-enter the trade 4 or 5 different times just because you're putting your stop loss at this level, okay? Now, if you go in with the right leverage, there should be no, oh my goodness, red, green, red, green, red, green. Now, I know, I get it. Nobody wants to lose money. I get it. But at the same time, we should not be getting stopped out of a trade unless we are 95% sure we're going to be wrong, okay? And that's why I always tell you guys, wait for the closure above or below your stop, okay? Because then that will tell you that the market will continue in the way you don't want it to go into, okay? Let me delete some of these lines so we're not confusing you too much. So are we all good, by the way, before I continue? Are we good on the loss that we took, that first initial loss? And are we good on the first win that we took? All make sense? Okay. If not, please stop me, okay? Now, I told you guys up here, right? I said, hey, look, this is all-time highs now. Let's see what price action wants to do. I'm not interested in going long unless we break above this and do something like this. Not interested in going long unless we break above it and then maybe form something like that higher low, right? And that retracement, that continuation. Then this is what I want you guys to look at for it too as well. And this is not what the algo is going to show you. These are just 1 minute key levels, okay? If I draw a line, I'm going to draw actually 2 lines, okay? I'm going to draw a line, and I'm not going to tell you guys why I'm drawing them here until I tell you. Does anybody know why I just drew, and I'll make these 2 lines, let's make them, I don't know, orange, okay? Why did I draw 2 lines right here? Anybody know? Questions? Give you guys a few seconds to think about it. Why would I draw 2 lines right here? I'll give you guys 15 seconds. 14. And I know you guys have to type, so I'll give you guys a little longer, okay? So you got some typers. Got to make you guys think here. Can't give you all the answers. Fair value gap? Well, there could be a fair value gap there, but again, Imar, I don't trade fair value gaps. So that's not the reason why I put those lines there. Now, that could be a fair value gap, but that's not the reason why I would put them. It's a fair value gap, fair value. Exactly. Exactly. Imbalance and balance. Yeah, fair value gap, imbalance. Yes, but no, that's not what I'm looking for, okay? Now, you guys can see, just like support and resistance levels, right? There's going to be imbalances, fair value gaps, and fair value gaps all over the chart, okay? It doesn't matter, okay, about that. What I'm just looking for is, if let me actually get my rectangle so you guys can kind of see exactly what I'm looking for. I'm going to draw the rectangle right here. What is this? What are these wicks? Okay. We get this push up and we come down. What technically is this? Anybody know what this is? It's a miniature what? It's a miniature what? Exactly. Exactly. Buyers holding small wall. Exactly. Okay. Cool. If buyers are holding a small wall, and then what is this? Same thing. Same exact thing right here. Buyers are holding a small wall, right? So this is why I told you guys before this happened, hey, if we get a closure below this level or this level, I am really interested in shorts. Now, I didn't want to just take the break here or here because there's still a little bit of, hey, we could still get that. We have this massive uptrend. I have to see a downtrend form or some type of, hey, let's get that pullback, that lower high, and that continuation kind of like this. That's what I was looking for to potentially enter that short. But what happened? We just sold right off. So I was definitely interested. Hey, we just closed below that. Sweet. Wasn't able to say, let's see if we can form that higher low. Maybe take a trade somewhere around here. Never was able to. Okay, cool. Missed that opportunity. Then we closed below here. I'm like, okay, well, if we can close below here, let's see if we can form that higher low somewhere here and take that opportunity. Now, let's say we closed below this candle, closed below this, and use your imagination, and the market came all the way back above here, right? Then if we come back above here, you'd be like, well, Will, the market's holding up, came back above this level. Shouldn't now you be anti-short? No, because it's still, this is now where the retracement is, so then I'll then just retake the short at this level, okay? But guess what? It never happened, and we just kept on selling off, and I missed the opportunity. Now, it's not like I missed it. I just didn't get enough confirmation for me to be like, hey, I need to take the short. I didn't get enough of the confirmation. I didn't get the right entry. I just wasn't feeling it. I had to be a little more confident or a little bit more confluences in that specific game plan I was looking at, which it never gave me, okay? So we missed, again, that could have been beautiful, but in that situation, did not like it. Now, what happened, okay? We came all the way to here, okay? And this was kind of the retracement I wanted. I wish it came back a little higher, but then I'm like, okay, well, cool. If we can kind of, this is a level and we just start coming back up and they get rejected again, sweet. So then this is where I was like, this is not the best situation. This isn't the best ideal short, but this is technically a higher low. We massively sold off. Let's see if we can get that a little bit more of that continuation. And that's why I entered somewhere in here. Okay. I entered short somewhere in here. Now, I told you guys, hey, we're starting to take profits. But if we're entering in this area, well, our take profits can be VWAP, which is right here. Now VWAP is moved, but at this specific time, VWAP was right here. And then the next key level was right here. Now the next key level after that was right here. Okay? So if we're entering short here, TP1, TP2, TP3. Okay? Now, I want to say this is what I missed, but once I entered short here, and then we came back up, I'm like, okay, maybe we get a little consolidation. Then we dumped right here. I'm like, bet, we got this. It's in the bag. We're going to hit this beautiful trade. Now what happened? We came all the way back up. Now, the reason why on this specific trade I wasn't panicking was because if we look at these massive candles right here, right? There's a thing called an imbalance. You can call them fair value gaps. You can call them inverse fair value gaps. You can call them whatever you want. I don't like using that term. I don't like using ICT, right? But what I do like is whatever you want to call the name, this is an imbalance. The market has to retrace back up to this somewhere in this given area to then make another leg down. Okay? Somewhere from here to here. Somewhere in this box. Again, do we know exactly? No. But somewhere in this box, we have to retrace to continue going lower. Okay? And that is exactly why when we were consolidating, I went in small, and then I kept on adding to my size. Now, you guys will be like, holy crap, you went in 16 minis, right? Well, if you guys were taking the exact trade I was, you guys just have to scale that way down. Maybe you'll be in 16 MNQs, which is 1.6 minis, okay? Which again, let's say you entered right here. My dollar cost average was, and then what's really cool, by the way, my initial entry was all the way down here, right? Before I started adding, my initial entry was right here. But when I started slowly adding, I was adding here, I was adding here, I was adding here, I was adding here. My dollar cost average was doing what? Slowly moving up, right? Now, yes, I was putting more risk on the table. Yes, you guys saw my drawdown, but guys, we're going to be in drawdown. That's what trading is. If we can't leverage correctly, then we can't be in drawdown, okay? If you guys are trying to find like 5-point, 10-point moves, that's very, very hard to do, okay? So that's why I kept on adding, because I said, you know what? We're consolidating. I know we have to fill this imbalance. So we might continue to sound, and that's why I told you guys my stop loss was going to be somewhere up here. Now, would I have maybe have taken, if I was wrong on this trade, I probably have taken maybe like a 6.5, 7K loss, right? But again, I knew what I was doing with my leverage, and I knew how much I was willing to lose on the trade. I wasn't just adding like, oh, full port main account. If I lose 15, 16, 20, 30, 40K, who cares? No. I knew what I was comfortable with losing for the day. Now, if I was trading prop firm, this would be a completely different story. I wouldn't have done what I did. I would have probably done the same trade, but on way different size. Okay? And so once we kind of got back up into this area, and then I started seeing this continue, I'm like, okay, yeah, we got this in the pocket. I added again. So once I started truly knowing we're coming back down, I added again, and I had my take profits. I never moved my take profits. I still had TP1, TP2, TP3. And look what happened. Once the market started going my way, this is when I started unloading those contracts. And that's kind of why I'm not saying I like being consolidation, but if I'm able to go into the trade and go in very, very light and then add while the trade is playing out, then it will give me the opportunity to then unscale my position. So then I start locking in profits. Like I didn't buy 16 NQ contracts at once and then sell 16 contracts at once, right? Yeah, I appreciate it, Bax. Yeah, my goal is to explain that exactly. What platform you use for personal capital? I use Tradeovate. I use Tradeovate on TPT, and I use Tradeovate on personal. I'm thinking about moving over maybe next year into Thinkorswim, Charles Schwab. You need to have but to be able to do that, you have to think like $40,000 of starting capital to trade on Thinkorswim. But I'm down the road. I'm thinking about so I can literally just trade on Thinkorswim. So I don't have to have Tradeovate open and Thinkorswim open. I can just have Thinkorswim open and place trades on Thinkorswim. But as of right now, I'm using Tradeovate. Okay. So that trade happened because I knew the game plan. I knew there was an imbalance. We were just being hella annoying on this consolidation. I got a little nervous. I wasn't gonna lie. I got a little nervous when the market really started coming back up here and we formed those higher highs and higher lows. But it wasn't crazy nervous because why? We had this massive leg down. If we didn't have this massive leg down, I probably would have sat on my hands a little bit and truly waited for that downtrend, right? And that's why. And then I had what? I started scaling out. I told you guys, hey, I'm going to sell 3 contracts right here. And then I'm like, hey, I'm going to sell another 3 contracts right here. And then I said, hey, I'm going to sell then 2 contracts right here. And then I sold the majority at actual full TP. And I showed you guys the screenshots. I showed you guys my position. I even showed you guys how much I was up and down throughout the whole trade. Okay. And then after I hit that, I'm like, I'm done. Now, if we were done after that trade, but if you continue looking at the market, what happened? If this is the lowest point of day, this is the highest point of day, what is happening? This is the second highest point of day, third highest point of day, fourth highest point of day, right? What does the market look like it's starting to do? Become bearish, right? So if you guys missed this trade, there still could have been opportunity. See how we came back up and then we formed a lower high? So what could we have done? We could have gone short somewhere. Since now we look like we're trying to get back below the VWAP, we could kind of have gone short somewhere right here. Hold on. Okay? Somewhere in this area. Now, if you guys would have gone short somewhere in here, I guarantee half of you guys, once you were right here, would have gone to break even and had a 0 win, $0 loss on this trade. Or you guys could have said, hey, stop loss above here, right? And you got stopped out of the trade. But no. You guys should put if you guys are entering this trade here, our stop loss, depending upon your leverage, if you're leveraging correctly, if we shorted here, and let's say our take profit was low right here, right? Half size position. Then when we retrace and get into drawdown, which all of you guys, if you took the show, start be freaking out. Oh my gosh, we're in drawdown. Well, no, we shouldn't be freaked out because we're in half size position. Our stop loss should be closure above here. Okay. Closure above here. Now, once we actually get that continuation, that confirmation, what can we do? We can add to our position. If our entry is right here, let me make this green. And this is not that I didn't take this trade. I'm just explaining what you guys could have taken. If I took the short here, so my initial short, let's say, is right here. Come back up, come back down into drawdown. And then once we come back down, what can I do? Add again, right? So then what would happen if I'm adding again to my position? If my initial stop was right here, I'm adding leverage. I have to control it. We now got to move my stops to right here. Okay? Then what happens? We come back up again. But what is this happening? We're forming what? Lower lows and lower highs. So what can we do? We could have added, if we wanted to, again. And that's why I like the market. Sometimes I like the market, not just dumping. Now, if it just dumps, I'm profiting on half-size positions. Because you guys know me, I always go in half-size, quarter-size positions before the trade happens. Now, if we enter trade and boom, go straight to TP, great, I'm happy, pat on the back, we're all green. But I wasn't able to ever add, right? And then what happens to you guys? All you guys are adding, trading on half-size positions. We might hit 1 or 2 bangers, boom, hit straight TP. But I bet 50% of you, 60% of you guys, after we hop off in the morning trading, still continue trading because why? That wasn't enough for you. You only made half-size position trades. You have to make more because you want to pass your profit faster, or you want to get a payout faster, or you're not content with the $150 win, right? Because that specific day that we traded only gave you half-size position trades, right? Do you guys ever think about that? So let's kind of continue. Exactly, right? And we're going to start really diving into these lessons like crazy for you guys, okay? So definitely hope you guys can show up more. And I'm recording these so you can kind of rewatch everything that we're talking about today, okay? But in this specific example, we were able to add 3 times before we hit take profit. First trade, second trade, third trade. But every single time we add to our position, we have to control our risk. So entry, initial stop is up here. Entry, our stop is now right here. Entry, our stop is now right here. So we're adding leverage, which means if we're adding leverage, we can lose more. But if we're controlling and narrowing our risk down, it's protecting us. Okay? And then what happened on this specific trade? It would have banged, if you guys started with 3 MNQs, 4 MNQs, 5 MNQs, you guys would have banked like what, 230, 300, maybe more on that trade, right? And then look what happened. Did we ever close truly below this level? No. But should we be going long in this level? No. Because what are we doing? Trading below VWAP. But in this case scenario, let's say, see how we got above VWAP? But look what happened. We got weak and we fell right back down. I would have changed my bias. This is being recorded. It is being recorded. I would have changed my bias if we closed above here. If we closed above 26,278 right here, then I would have changed my bias to longs, and then I would be targeting TP here, and TP here. Okay? So see how we always have to continue looking at key levels while the market's playing out. What is the trend? What is it doing? How is price action? Okay? And we could have even taken another short. We got weak, took a short. Now this actually, before we wrap things up, this is actually a very, very good example right here. Look at this trade. Let's say we saw this, we formed lower high. This green line, did I ever change it? This could have now been an entry to right here. Let's say we went short right here. What stop loss can be initially right here if we went in half size? Would we have been able to add on this position? Was there any time to add on this trade? Let's say our take profit was in exactly the same thing. No. We could have never, there was no good true re-entry on this trade. So what would have happened? Half size position, TP. We would have only banked, if you guys, let's say, went in 3 MNQs, you might have only banked 80, 90 bucks. I don't know exactly the number. Okay? I'm just saying 80 bucks just for argument's sake. But a lot of you guys would have had, man, that's a beautiful trade. You read it perfectly. You understood what's going on. You executed it perfectly. But you're not satisfied with the result because you are leveraging correctly, but your head is in the mindset of racing through prop firms for what? Just like I talked to you about. Faster fundeds, faster payouts, making the money. Because you guys, what? You're all in here to make money. I get it. We're all in here to literally make this as a living or a part-time job or for vacation money, whatever the reason why you guys are here. We're all here to make money. But this is not a get-rich-quick thing. And that's why I'm kind of mad at the internet, mad at TGR saying, oh, I lost $500,000. Or the other trades made, oh, I made 30K, or I lost 5K, or I made 10K, or today I made 7K. You guys see these big numbers, and you want it, and you want it now. But it doesn't happen tomorrow. It doesn't even happen in a year. Okay, I wasn't making $3, $7, $10, $15, $20, $30,000 in a day in a year. I'm doing this for 7 years, guys. Now, I know I'm only 25. I'm young as fuck, but I started hella early. Now, I'm not saying it's going to take you 7 years to get to where I'm at, right? It might take you 2 years. It might take you 2.5 years. It might take you a year and a half. It might take you 3 years. I don't know, depending. But at the same time, no, it should not take anybody more than 5 years. I swear to God, if that's the case, I'm sorry, this isn't for you. But you guys have to understand, like, it's not going to happen immediately. And that's why it's crazy. I talk to so many students every day and every single month. And they get so confused, like, hey, Will, I've been doing this for so long, but I haven't seen a result. I'm like, okay, man, how long have you been doing it for? 5 days. I'm like, bro, that's nothing. Or like, hey, Will, I've been doing this for 3 months, no result, I can't do this anymore. I'm like, that's nothing. You should still be in the learning phase at that time. Or another person's like, man, I can't afford to do this anymore, I gotta leave. Well, do you have a job? Are you working? I was working 3.5 jobs to be able to financially support myself to trade, right? I wasn't like had no job and then put my life savings into trading and then cross fingers, good luck. No, I was still supporting myself, whatever that is, while trying to trade. So every single one of you guys in here, if you guys say, I can't afford to trade, I can't afford to trade, I can't afford to trade, no offense, you're lying to yourself because prop firms are $100, okay? And every single one of us should have a job. Okay, we should all have big grown-up jobs. Or even if you guys are if you give me deals, hey, Will, I work at McDonald's, I don't care. You're making money. Even if it's $15 an hour, you're still bringing in something in your pocket. Okay? And if a prop firm costs $100, cool. You could literally make a shit ton of money, but the thing is you have to be smart, realistic, and know it's going to take a long time. But it will come. So, anyways, I'm going to wrap things up here. We've almost been 40 minutes on the lesson. Okay, I don't want to make it too long. I'll be doing a lot more breakdowns of stuff Thursday, Friday, and then the rest of the week we're going to go crazy next week. Okay, we're gonna do crazy lessons literally Monday to Friday and a ton of live trading and a lot of fun things. Okay, so was yep fully recorded. I'll upload this in like 15 minutes after we hop off this lesson. Okay, so it's literally 40 minutes. You can literally watch from start to finish. Okay, so I used to accidentally last year, knew I can't work. I used to accidentally last year, now I can't work. Why can't you work? And now if you say you can't work, bro, if that means if you're disabled or something, bro, do you know how many internet yeah, but do you know how many online jobs there are that you can make? Like, bro, one of my friends, he broke his leg and his arm in football. He was disabled. He couldn't work a real job. But what he did, he applied to be an Apple service guy, and that's the person that you call up saying, "Hey, my iPhone doesn't work. What do I do?" And he makes $27 an hour, works 6 hours, 6 to 10 hours a week with $25 an hour at home with one hand on his computer and a phone headset in his head. So I'm not saying that you can't work, or I'm not like giving an excuse, or I know whatever you guys' life situation is, but there's always a way to make money. I can't make more than 25 a month, or they take my check. Oh, because disability income. Yeah, I mean the question then to that situation, and I don't mean I truly don't know what situation you're in, man, but in that situation, then there's a thing called what are you thinking? Like, do you want to take the risk on trying to find a job and stop using your disability to see you can have an income that makes you more than $2,500 a month? Or you're like, nah, I can't risk that. The stability of at least $2,500 a month is at least something. And, so there's kind of something that you have to think about, right? So, Scarlett, want to say something?
I was gonna say something and then I remember that you're recording.
No, no, no.
There's
Yeah,
always
yeah, yeah,
there's always loopholes and
yeah.
things around this stuff, which I've been thinking about a lot.
Oh,
But
100%.
yeah, so I mean, I'm not saying do something that you shouldn't do, but you can always open an LLC or some kind of entity, and then you're trading money can be income for that entity, and then you can write off the expenses for that LLC. As long as you don't take a payout from your LLC, then it's not really considered income that you are generating. It's your business income.
Exactly. Exactly. That's a good one.
But yeah, we can, whoever wants to talk more about that stuff,
We can do that in
hit
a
me up.
lesson. Like, yeah, we can do that a lesson sometime.
Yeah,
I'm gonna record it.
yeah. Yeah.
So
I'm
that's
not
good.
saying don't do something you shouldn't do, but
Yeah. No, exactly. Exactly, exactly. So I said I got my friend starting trading. He's trading three MNQs and hit 150 today. So grind and it's possible. Just don't ever. Yeah, exactly. Look, he traded three MNQs, made 150 in it today, right? And that's amazing. And that's still insane. When I first started trading, I was averaging $50 a day, right? And $150, bro. Yeah, he made more money than I bet like 45% of Americans in a day, and he's just started. You see what I mean? So your guys' perception of money gets so messed up because of the numbers you might see online, or the numbers you might see me take, or the other students take, or the potential there, right? But it's not going to happen tomorrow. I talked to so many students, and some of you students, I'm not going to say names, they tell me, Will, I don't care about the money. If it takes me 2 years, I'm staying here and we're going to make money. I'm like, love it. Great. I love the mindset. I love that you're not right here for money. I love that you're here to learn, take good trades, and then the money will come, right? Oh, yeah, I screwed up. I can't do that, but my wife can. Well, boom. You have a wife then, bro. There's your cheat sheet. Have your wife. I know she probably has her hands super busy. I don't know if you have kids or not, but like she can help, right? Say, hey, she probably knows what your income is. I don't know what her income is, but you guys could probably compromise or create a game plan or chat GPT a game plan, and there's always a way around it. You just got to use that head, right? Be that entrepreneur that I think half of us in here or all of us in here want to be, right? So, but that's it for me. I'm going to wrap things up. Any other questions, Scarlett, or comments or anything you want to say to the team before tomorrow? Oh, you're good.
in my opinion, today's trading was um advanced, an advanced level for so those of you that are starting or just have a couple of months in with us, don't it was hard for me to follow adding contracts and taking a profit. That takes skill. That's a certain skill. And I think maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, Will, the most important skill there is to know your risk management. Like what Will does is because he understands how much he can risk. and he can time it correctly, when to enter more contracts, when to exit. It was difficult for me to follow. I didn't trade more than 3 MNQ. So if you weren't able to follow that, don't let that discourage you. Just take it as an example, like, oh, I can totally get there one day when I have the cushion, when I have the experience. That's the kind of stuff I'm going to be able to do for sure. But maybe just not now, and that's fine. It doesn't mean that you don't know how to trade or you can't do this. It's just that what we witnessed today, Will doing, was super experience, 6 years into the game with a lot of cushion because he traded his personal account. So just keep that stuff in mind, because I have to remind myself, like, Will is like a master at this. And if I can't follow, that's okay. I don't have the 6 years of experience. So
No, 100%. And I couldn't
that's
have said that better.
yeah.
No, yeah, 100%. Oh, go ahead.
No, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. I just want us all to keep that in mind, that, you've paid your share of your losses, and you have the experience that you have for a reason. It didn't come easy, and you're able to do what you do because you've put in the time. So we need to put in that time too, to be able to do cool stuff like that.
100%. And exactly, like, in that trade that I showed you guys, 100% that was hard, right? I had to know, okay, you know what? If my entry is here, my initial game plan was a quick scalp down here. That initial game plan didn't happen. So then I had to realize, okay, what's the overall market happening? Okay, I know there's an imbalance. And then I would be 100%, just like you said. This was a hard trade. I had to know, okay, if I'm going to react to my position, when's the best time to react? How many times should I add to the position? If I am wrong of this trade, how much am I going to lose on the position, right? How do I know when to scale out of the trade? How do I know how to do this all when it happens so quickly and to keep my emotions under check, right? And especially with the size, no matter if I have $1 million in my account, which I don't, right? How can I make sure that my head doesn't get to me and that I still have that patience, but I'm not getting super, super worried? Like, oh my gosh, when I see negative 7K, I'm not gulping in my pants, forgetting what I'm doing and completely just going ship brains, right? I still am understanding what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, right? I never make a decision because I'm guessing. If from you guys probably see me every single time I train, I'm never guessing. I'm always making a decision based off of a reaction that I see, right? Now, am I wrong sometimes? 100%. Training, you're going to be wrong. But again, just like you said, this was a very hard day. This was a very hard trade, right? And that's why when I take trades or I take bigger trades, that doesn't mean you have to copy everything I do. And it doesn't mean you have to follow me every single second of what I do, right? Take a step back. Like, yeah, that's a really hard trade. Or, Will, I'm going to sit back. I'm already red $70. I'm going to be done for the day. Or, Will, I'm already up $170 today. I'm going to be done for the day. Cool. The live trading isn't here for you guys to copy everything I do, but to learn everything I do and then take the trades that you feel comfortable with. Okay. But yeah, good, right? Amazingly said, Scarlett. Again, not sure I have the level of patience. It takes time. I didn't have that level of patience 6 years ago. I swear I didn't. Right? So it takes time. All right. But other than that, good work today, guys. This lesson will be recorded in the next 10, 15 minutes. It'll be uploaded even shorter than that. I'll do it right after we hop off. But hope everybody has a beautiful rest of their Wednesday. Let's finish the week off strong Thursday and Friday. Let's hopefully we have good price action. If not, what do? Stick to our rules, stick to our risk management, and do not over leverage. Okay? Peace out, guys. Good work, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Peace, 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 and you guys are awesome. Talk to you guys later.